Hey everybody, welcome to the Harry H.U.1 channel, the channel where I take you on some adventures as well as teach you some everyday things that'll make your life a little better. This week, we are covering Dry January. Now, there's a lot of people that do Dry January, and I get it because I'm doing Dry January as well. Da, da, da. Dry January is one of those things that is super hyped at the moment, and I hope more and more people do it because it's actually really, really good for you. My background is actually in holistic exercise and nutrition. Part of how I have been able to travel all over the world, part of how I have been able to maintain my body at the level that it's at is by treating it well. And one of the things to treat it well is by doing a dry month. I usually do 1 to 3 dry months a year. Yeah, I know. Dry January is not just Dry January, it's about dry month. Why is it important for us to do a Dry January? Because our livers need a break, because our bodies need a break, and actually your whole entire unit needs a reset, okay? You don't sleep as well when you drink alcohol. You don't do a lot of things as well, but you do socialize better on alcohol. At least I socialize better on alcohol. But one of the things that a dry month does is it allows us to get the opportunity to socialize without liquid courage. So when I do a Dry January, what I like to do is go to a bar and order soda water, lime, and bitters. Alternatively, just water. It's actually a really nice way to try other things that are non-alcoholic. Now, some of you that are watching this might not be alcohol inclined. Great, no problem. But maybe you have some tips for somebody else that you know that drinks a lot, and this will help them get a little better idea of how to not drink for a month. And then they can at least know how that feels. Some people go a year without drinking, or some people quit drinking altogether. That's great. I love the taste and the craft of alcohol, which is why I don't want to completely cut it out, but I want to make sure that I give my body a break from it. These are the 5 tips of having a successful dry month. Okay, tip number 1. It seems rather obvious, but I think this is the most important because if you don't do this, it makes it a lot more difficult. And that's make it fun. Last year, I showcased some mocktails that are fun drinks that you can make that are non-alcoholic. So that was a way to actually make it fun for me to not drink, something to look forward to. Make it fun. Look for the places that might have a good mocktail menu, or challenge the bartender. Say, hey, can you give me a mocktail? Or just drink water if you want. It is a lot cheaper to do that. A lot of us use alcohol as our fun, right? So if alcohol is your fun, you gotta create a new fun. Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure that worked. Number 2, which is actually kind of difficult, but it will really help you, is avoid your drinking buddies. Now, I'm not talking about your friends that you like to grab a drink with only and are gonna be supportive of you. I'm talking about your drinking buddies that just will try to peer pressure you into drinking, right? The ones that will be like, oh no, have a drink. Oh, it's okay, have a drink. Or the bartender friend of yours, or mine, in this case, the bartender friend of mine that I know when I see him, he's still gonna peer pressure me to drink. That is the person you're trying to avoid unless your willpower is really good. If your willpower is not really good, I highly recommend not seeing your drinking buddy. It's really hard to not succumb to peer pressure. So sometimes you gotta say, hey Bruce, sorry, I'll see you next month. Number 3, which I kind of brought up before, think about how much money you're saving. Good Lord. Do you know how much money is spent on alcohol? So much money. I've probably spent hundreds of dollars a month on alcohol when I'm drinking because I'm going to social events, because I'm going to talk, and then you buy someone else a drink. Or it's so important to reset your wallet as much as it is to reset your body. So if you think about how much money you're saving, and like literally after a week and you're like, oh my God, I just went out to eat and the bill was only blank. When you start seeing those rewards, those are incentives for you to keep going, because saving money is a big motivational factor. Number 4, super important, and actually probably one of the best tips I can give you, is do it with a buddy. My girlfriend Andrea is my buddy for this adventure, and she takes Sober January with me. Whenever I take a sober time off, she takes a sober time off. Both of us appreciate the reset of our bodies, okay? So that is kind of one of those things that if you have a buddy to do it, it's a buddy system. They can, if you feel like you're having a drink, you have someone to talk to, someone to say, hey, I need a drink, and they're like, I feel like I need a drink too. Should we quit? No, right? Like if you're both going out, and also like if you have 2 people going out and you're meeting your drinking buddies, and you both say, hey, we're doing dry January, or hey, we're doing dry month, more people are gonna be okay with that. Because for some reason, if you only have one person, you have to convince only one person. But if you have 2 people to convince, it's a lot harder. So doing it with a buddy allows you to have the support system you need, and it also allows you to have a backup just in case someone tries to peer pressure you. The last tip, which is a combination of many tips, but I just kind of made it into one final tip, is to remind yourself why you're doing it. If you have an intent, if you have a reason of why you're doing dry January, I want to prove to myself that I can. I want to know that I have the discipline to do this. I want to be leaner. If you have a goal, you know, that's what that is. The intent is a goal, but it also could be like a mental, emotional thing. You want to see if you can do it. It could be a goal of, I want to lose 5 pounds. It could be a goal of, I want my skin to look better. I want to sleep better. Any of those types of things. If you attach yourself to that intention of why you're doing it, you won't get lost in the why am I doing this question. Does that make sense? So you need to answer the why am I doing this question, because that's gonna be the thing that really allows you to succeed, which is also involved with, like, a little side note of this is self-encouragement. Encourage yourself. Like, don't give yourself a hard time for wanting a drink, right? Like that's like, I think the hardest part is like, oh, I shouldn't want to, get rid of your shoulds, throw it out, okay? When you do it, when you succeed, give yourself a pat on the back. Give that pat on the back. Again, this is something I like to do a few times a year. So if you find yourself drinking a lot, partying a lot, or needing a break, maybe you need to watch this video again, and then you can hopefully re-encourage yourself to taking a dry January. I know a lot of people have said to me, you're crazy, you do it 3 times a year, you're crazy, you're restricting yourself from life, or I love booze too much. That's my favorite one. I love booze too much to quit alcohol. Guys, if you actually love booze, you will quit it so that your body can handle it. I promise I'm working on my consistency, and 2020, this new decade, one of the main things I want to do is try to help people. Like, when I got into video, one of my main objectives was to help people get better. So I hope to bring to you little episodes about thoughtful things that can improve your life or improve those around you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and don't forget to subscribe, okay?